Welcome to this week's episode of Talk of the Town. My name's Philip Swicegood, and I am back with my good friend and co-host, Dr. Harper from Vein Specialist of the South. And we're so glad that you guys are here with us today. Now, if you have questions about your veins, maybe you saw a new vein pop up somewhere on your body and you just want to have an expert take a look at that for you, give Dr. Harper and my friends at Vein Specialist of the South a call. They will get you the answers that you deserve. We also want to thank our presenting sponsor this week, which is Piedmont Macon. Piedmont provides comprehensive, quality healthcare for all of your medical needs. Thanks so much to the amazing folks at Piedmont Macon for making a show like this possible and for investing in Central Georgia. We do appreciate them. Now, if it's Saturday morning, you're getting up, you've poured that first cup of coffee, you're wondering to yourself, what in the world is this show on 13 WMAZ? Well, let me tell you, we're Talk of the Town. We interview interesting people right here in Central Georgia because we're from here and we love here. And we are so excited to share with you another great conversation today. We're here with Justin Andrews from the Otis Redding Foundation. Justin has been just essential in getting this brand new facility here today that we are thrilled to share with you. Justin, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thank you all so much for coming back and checking out our new space in here.
So Justin is one of our return guests, but the last time that we interviewed Justin, it was in a little bit of a different setting.
It was.
And there was all this talk about something that was to come, about a building that was going to be in downtown Macon, Georgia, celebrating the legacy of Otis Redding. And man, we're here.
We are here.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Thank you all. That means a lot to us. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the building. Tell us where we're at.
This space is great. We're at the corner of Cotton Avenue and Cherry Street. Our actual mailing address is 436 Cotton Avenue, and we're at our brand new Otis Redding Center for the Arts that opened in March of this year. It's a 15,000 square foot facility that we're in now, hosting a full-on world-class studio for our kids to go and record. We have an amphitheater stage that is an indoor-outdoor sort of amphitheater stage that kids get the opportunity to come and perform on that stage when they have things to do. We have 5 practice rooms inside of this facility where kids can come in and take private lessons or just write, rehearse, whatever they need to do. We have 6 labs that are all upstairs that we do workshops and group instructions in. We have a couple lounges that we have for the kids to go into to just kind of hang out after school every day. All of our Otis Redding Foundation offices have moved up here as well. So we are full on go from Otis Redding Foundation and Otis Redding Center for the Arts right here on 436 Cotton Avenue.
Now, is the museum still down on
The
Cotton
museum
Avenue?
is still there. The museum is still there,
Right.
still at 339 Cotton Avenue. So for all your Otis memorabilia, your Otis merch, anything like that, want to tour the museum, we are still down the street at 339 Cotton Avenue.
You know, Justin, there are a couple legacy families in our community, and the Redding family is one of those legacy families. For young people, tell them, who is Otis Redding?
Well, so we'll start with number 1. Otis Redding was my grandfather, but also Otis Redding was an incredible musician and just person for the culture of music, especially coming out of Macon. Of course, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay is one of his famous hits. Of course, you have Hard to Handle that was made famous by the Black Crowes also. And there's some other deep cuts in there as well. But what he did in those short 26 years he was here was so instrumental, not only to Macon and not only to the music industry, but also just to the culture of music and just people that we have here in Macon, Georgia, of what we can do in a town of 150,000 people.
And to me, he bridged that gap, the racial gap.
He did.
In a way that was awesome for our community. He was an entrepreneur.
He was.
He had multiple businesses.
He did.
Did he really do the first music video?
I want to say he did the first music video. That's what I want to say.
Let's claim it.
I want to claim it. I want to say he did the first music video, and I'm going to say he did the first music video where he has stacks of money just all around all over the place.
So tell them about the video so they can go watch it.
So the music video is called Tramp with Otis Redding and Carla Thomas. You can see that on all YouTube. You can just Google it and find it. But it's actually a very, very funny video of my granddad being out at the ranch in Jones County and saying, he's a country boy. Then he comes to Macon and, he has all these businesses and record companies and all these fancy cars and airplanes and money. And I'm like, this guy was on a whole different level. Back in 1967. So it's really deep. Really deep.
So one of the things that just strikes me is walking in the door here for the first time. I did this like 10 minutes ago. it feels like you are in any major city across the country or across the world.
Right.
I mean, it is state of the art. It is absolutely gorgeous. Talk to us about what some of the thought that went into this design and into some of the resources that are actually here.
Well, number one, talking about the design and why we kind of did this space the way we did is because we feel like kids deserve world-class treatment as well. Just because they're kids doesn't mean they get hand-me-downs or not the best. That's not how you make a productive child in society in our eyes. So we went all out and we gave kids a world-class facility for them to come in and feel like they can create here and they can create anything they want inside of this space. We have kids that come from the public sector, the private sector, homeschool sector, and there's those programs of arts and music are kind of being ripped away. Of course, you have band and chorus, but you're playing what the band director wants you to play, and you're singing what the choir director wants you to sing. So these kids get to come here and they get to completely just write whatever they want to and do whatever they want inside of this space. We did a lot of travel, of course, around the nation, looking at different performing arts centers and what they had and what was missing and what we needed. Mercer University, the Townsend School of Music, was also a big help to us because we had camp there a couple times. So, we took a little inspiration from that as well. But we believe we built a building that, number one, everybody can get in and everybody has an opportunity to experience. And number two, we have a ton of room to grow. And that was the most important thing, is having a big enough space for us to continue to grow and help more kids throughout Central Georgia.
So how many children have experienced this center so far? Do you have an idea?
My goodness. Anywhere from 500 to 800 kids for these few months we've been here. We have partnerships with Roberts Academy, the dyslexia school that is tied with Mercer University. We have a partnership with Mount DeSales Academy. We have a partnership with Stratford Academy. We've had partnerships in the Bibb County school system as well. Just this morning, we had Lake Joy Elementary down out of Warner Robins come down and take field trips here, and they've been here for the past 3 weeks. So, we just want to get as many kids to this space as we possibly can every day, just to let them experience something like this.
The one thing for me is when you come down 2nd Street into town in the evening and you look up Cotton Avenue, this place puts a mark there.
Yes, it does.
It shines.
Yes, it does.
And Otis is sitting down there now.
He sure is.
Where was he? And how did he get up here?
Well, so of course, we had the Otis Redding statue down in Gateway Park. And then, we felt like Gateway Park wasn't the greatest location for people to be able to see him, take pictures, whatever they need to do with that. So we put it in storage for a couple years. Everybody was like, where's the statue? We're like,
where's Otis?
We're going to bring it back. We promise we're going to bring it back. Then we had this crazy feature to put a fountain out there and put Otis in the fountain for him to, quote unquote, sit on the dock of the bay. And that down there has been incredible, just watching people sit and just be down there.
That should be a number one place when your friends come to town. You bring them down here and get a picture with them and Otis sitting down there.
Definitely.
Right?
I'll tell you something else funny. It's really funny. I'll be outside kind of doing a little pool cleaning outside, and people will be out, and I'll go up to them like, hey, you want me to take a picture? And they have no idea who I am. It's actually kind of great.
Justin, I want to ask you a question about the opportunities that families have here, but first we have to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor.
I'm a 37-year-old mother of 2 and enjoy spending time with my family. As an athletic trainer for a manufacturing plant, I'm on my feet all day. I developed bulging varicose veins after my pregnancies. That only got worse. Then spider veins. After a family beach vacation and lacking confidence, it was time to do something about my legs. As a medical professional, I knew Vein Specialists of the South is the best in Central Georgia. From my first phone call to completion of procedures, every staff member was professional and ultra caring. I was blown away by how much information I learned and the severity of my legs. I loved the staff and even looked forward to returning each visit. The procedure had minimal downtime, and I even walked a mile after my last procedure. Months later, I was back at the beach again with 2 pretty legs and newly gained confidence. If you're ready to get your life back, call Vein Specialists of the South today.
Piedmont Macon is proud to be your partner in healthcare, in business and in the community. From our 2 convenient hospitals and ERs, our cardiac program, women's services, and urgent care centers, we provide Middle Georgians with comprehensive care close to home. Our goal is to empower you through great care that's simplified, unified, and easier than ever to access. Our mission is to make a positive difference in every life we touch. We want to be part of your family and your life and to make our community a better place to live.
At Rafield Tire Master, when we say we're your auto service headquarters, it means our team provides complete auto care, including brake jobs, engine diagnostics, and alignments. It also means we stand behind our work to ensure you drive with confidence. So for all your auto service needs, visit one of our 6 Rafield Tire Master locations in Macon or Warner Robins and log on to RafieldTire.com, because at Rafield Tire, auto service is our business.
We've got you. It's a pledge to make sure you're always taken care of. A pledge that Flint Energies honors each and every day. When it comes to keeping things running smoothly or getting them back on track when they're not, we've got you. Always. Flint Energies is a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, your source for power and information.
Hey y'all, I want to invite you to visit Lane Southern Orchards for all of your holiday needs. We have pre-designed gift baskets, or they can be designed with your favorite items. We can even mail them to your friends and customers. While you're here, enjoy breakfast or lunch at the Peachtree Cafe. Make sure to save room for our peach cobbler, homemade pound cake, or fresh ice cream. I-75 to exit 142. We hope to see y'all soon.
Cramping, burning, swelling. Don't let varicose veins ruin your personal best. Get back in the game with Better Veins for Life and improve strength, energy, and performance. Walk in, walk out at Vein Specialists of the South, where getting back in the game starts. Call Vein Specialists of the South today.
Hey guys, I'm here with my good friend Cassie Hill, who's also one of our patients at Vein Specialists of the South, and she agreed to come on with this new segment, talking a little bit about her experience there. Cassie, tell us a little bit about yourself that people might find interesting.
I am a mom of 4, and I'm also a nursing professor at Middle Georgia State University.
Okay, and what do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
I love to run and exercise, mostly in my spare time.
Okay, so obviously you came to Vein Specialist, so you had some vein issues.
Yes.
Tell me about when you first noticed a problem and kind of how it's impacting your life.
After each pregnancy, I had 4 boys. I noticed my veins getting worse. And so it really started to impact me. After my last pregnancy, I really noticed it getting worse. And when I would try to run and exercise, and that's a big part of my life, I ran a couple marathons, and my legs would just ache and hurt. And I really just noticed that making a big impact on my exercise, so I wanted to get help.
Okay, what helped you decide to become the vein specialist?
Finally, I had a couple people encourage me to come do it, that they had great results from seeing y'all, and the staff was great, and then I'd seen it on some commercials and social media, and so I finally said, okay, I'm gonna do it.
We're so glad you did.
Yes.
So coming from a medical background, you're a doctor of nursing, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the experience, the workup there that people might want to know about.
It was great. They were so informative. I was very nervous, even being from a medical background. I didn't know what to expect, but y'all were very informative. I mean, you went over everything with me, the ultrasounds, what it all entailed, what the procedures would be like. And during the procedures, y'all answered every question I had and were there, to call and check on me afterwards for follow-up care. I couldn't have received any better care or experience.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned about the music during the procedure, right?
Yes. Yeah, I would play great Christian music, settle my nerves, or anything I wanted to hear. They'd say, what do you want to hear? What do you want to play? It was Christmas time, so they'd say, you want Christmas music? They were just very friendly. Everybody was.
So if you had one thing you wanted to tell our audience, and there are a lot of people that watch, what would it be?
I would encourage you to do it tomorrow. Go see them. If you're having vein problems, aches, anything like that, I highly recommend. I couldn't recommend them enough to go. The only regret I have is not doing it sooner. So go see Vein Specialists of the South.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town, where we are at the Otis Redding Center for the Arts here in downtown Macon, Georgia, a beautiful facility that we think you should check out. Justin, I've got to ask you, we've got a ton of families that watch this show on Saturday morning on 13 WMAZ. Let me ask you though, if a family wants to come down here and check this out, are there tours available? Is there a self-guided deal? What all can they expect?
So really, we kind of keep the doors closed because, we have kids in here at all times, so we got to keep those kids safe. But we do give out private tours for those who would call us and make an appointment for, to see if they would want to get their kids in. We kind of limit it to prospective students and their families of what we did. That's why we kept the museum down the street, so general public can go there and it kind of experience Otis. But for here, it's like prospective students thinking, possibility you want to do something like this. You've signed up for a program, but have never been inside the building. Definitely give us a call and we can definitely work something out.
You're the director of global initiatives.
Yeah.
What in the world does that mean? And what does the director of global initiatives see for the future of Otis Redding Performing Arts Center?
That's a twofold. Okay, so starting off with global initiatives, what I do, my job is to literally go out into the world and tell the world exactly what we're doing here at the Otis Redding Center for the Arts and what the Otis Redding Foundation is doing. Also, on my other hat, I get to go and talk Otis Redding Estate, so then I'm engulfed inside of the music business as well, because that thing is crazy every single day. But it's great that I get to talk Otis Redding, the estate, the music, name, image, and likeness, and then tie that in back with the foundation and the center and what we're doing. So it's the horizon for us. I mean, I always say this in my interviews I do, the sky is the limit for us. We are in a space now where we have full control, that we can do whatever we wanted to do at any given time. And now we have a place that kids can be serviced weekends, after school, all summer long, those random holidays that they get in the middle of the school year. You don't have anything to do with your kids, send them to us. We got plenty of workshops that we can take care of right in the heart of downtown. So there's always something to do with your kids if you can't find anything.
So wasn't the original New Way kind of owned this site?
It was.
It's right here.
Yeah. Technically where we are was
New
Way.
People coming by looking for a hot dog?
They do. They asked us. I'll tell you a really funny story. So when we did our grand opening in March, it was, we were like, we're on New Way's property. This is such a historic site. We got to have New Way hamburgers and hot dogs to kick off our grand opening. I love it. And everybody was here because they were like, "Oh man, New Way's back downtown." I'm like, "No, not back downtown. We're just doing this, for the community." And I mean, those hamburgers and hot dogs were gone in probably an hour.
Well, that was a cool homage to the property. That was really special for y'all to do.
Yes, it was. They're good friends of ours as well. So always pay homage where homage is due.
And people who have been from Macon, they obviously would know that right away, that, this is exactly where New Way was.
Exactly.
So that's a great little hat tip to them.
Exactly.
Just again, kind of walking through this facility, what's like one instrument that really stands out to you? What's like one thing that people would just be really surprised to see? Because just walking through it is totally different than any other building I've ever been in. And so what's like one room, one instrument, one thing that's just totally different?
The one thing I'll say is totally different are our interactive tables that we have downstairs in our interactive gallery. Okay. We have 3 programs on there that were specifically designed for us, for kids to be able to come in and experience either writing. If they have writer's block, there's a thing called Find Your Voice that helps kids with writer's block. There's another program called Find Your Style that helps kids design album covers, which is really, really neat. And then the last one is called Remix Redding. So the kids have the opportunity to take 5 different Otis Redding songs and completely remix them to how they would want, from their classic soul R&B version to country or hip hop or rock or classical or whatever, jazz, whatever they want to do. They have the capability to change those around. So they can kind of create an Otis song kind of using their own little methods of how they want to do it. And I've never seen anybody else have anything like that any place we've been. So that's kind of special to us downstairs in our gallery.
That's fantastic.
Right. So chatting before the recording, we were talking about what's really hitting the news right now is AI and music.
Yeah.
So coming from artist background perspective, share with our audience kind of what's going on today, this week, and your thoughts on that?
You know, AI is very scary. And I say it's scary because there are no checks and balances on AI and what can happen. You have, you know, people that have been in the industry for years that have been grinding left and right to be able to make it, to get Grammy nominated, to be an award-winning artist. And now the news broke a couple days ago that there's an AI-generated female singer that is now up for a Grammy Award. And this is
wait, this is not really a person.
No, this is not a person.
She's looks like a person.
She looks like a person, but she's not a person. She is not real at all.
So then who gets the award?
That's the question. Who gets the award? Does the AI company that did it, do they get the award? Do the songwriter that maybe helped do the songs, do they get the award? I don't know how that works, you know, but it's really kind of sent some shockwaves through the music industry. And now it's definitely making that entertainment industry definitely rethink, you know, AI and what's happening with AI.
That's important to consider. And another question, I guess, if you're a supporter of live music or artists, a lot of times, you know, whether they're streaming, there's no revenue to the artist, even if it's some of the ticket outlets, you know, there's less than. How would you recommend people support people that the genres they like and the artists they like?
Go to shows. Go to shows. Support these artists because that's the way they make their money now, is through shows. Go to shows. The other way they make their money now is through merchandise. So if you have a favorite artist and you can't go to the show, definitely try to buy their merch if you can. Represent them in some way. You can't. CDs are still there, and there's still vinyls that are kind of making a resurrection. But of course, we walk around with a full musical library in our pocket every day. Right. So just getting out and actually supporting those bands or those artists that you like means the world to artists nowadays. So just get out and support them.
So streaming their music generates very little
very
revenue
little,
for them.
Very little.
Interesting.
Very little.
Talk to me about the local music scene here in Macon. You know, we are just so blessed with such a rich musical heritage. Your grandfather, many others that we could sit here and name. You know, and now it seems like we have better facilities. We have so many up and coming people. Are you as optimistic about making music as I am?
I am 100%. I mean, with of course the revitalization of Capricorn, with us being here and helping kids, of course the new amphitheater that's out and on the other side of town. I mean, it's great to see the music still lives here in Macon. And it's great to see we have all these incredible artists now being able to come to Macon and do these shows. But then you have incredible local artists that are doing incredible things, not just in Macon, but getting their music throughout the world. But the one thing that we have to continue here in Macon to do is we have to keep them here. And we have to learn how to get out and support artists that are from here. Because if they are from here and they don't feel supported, then they're going to leave.
They're going to go somewhere else.
They're going to go somewhere else, and then they may blow up, and then they're, oh, well, I claim Birmingham, Alabama
as my home. And
there you go. Yeah, and, you know, and they were born right here in Macon, Georgia. Just get out and support all this stuff that's going on.
But go to the shows, buy the merchandise.
Go to shows, buy the merch. Stream them too. They still get a little residuals from streaming, but buy the merch. If there's vinyls you see of theirs, buy that vinyl. Just support your artist.
Justin, let me ask you this. What fascinates me about Otis Redding is that if someone says that they're an Otis Redding fan, you don't know if they're black, if they're white, if they're rich, if they're poor, if they're from the South, if they're from the North. You don't know if they're religious, if they're not religious, if they are religious. There's not really a denomination that is more his. He has such a broad base of appeal to so many different people that, as Dr. Harper alluded to earlier, really served as a unifying factor. And this was years ago when things were much more divisive than they are right now.
Right.
Why exactly do you think that is? Why was he able to bridge that gap in a way that others were not?
I think it was really the friendship between him and Phil Walden. That was it. I mean, you know, it was Phil looked after Otis and Otis looked after Phil. And people around this community saw that. I mean, you had this big 6'2", 6'3" black guy and a little 5'9", 5'10" white guy, you know, walking down the streets of Macon, Georgia, doing incredible things around here. And then I really think that made people realize, like, color doesn't matter. We can all make it in some way. And if these two can come together and do something incredible out of here, why can't the rest of us come together and do it? And I think that was really the turning point, especially here in Macon.
Right. The other thing unique about that relationship and a couple others that Otis and Zelma had was they got good contracts.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen by chance. That was intentional. Tell that story a little bit about
It was very intentional.
why the foundation can even be here.
Right. So, without my grandmother, Mrs. Zelma Redding, we would not be able to do any of this. It was, I look back on her and just kind of try to put myself in the picture, in the shoes of her, what she went through, being, 24, three kids, your husband just passed, you have a whole music catalog, you have a 300-acre ranch in Jones County. It's the mid-'60s, so we all know what's going on there with race relations and everything going on. And how she stayed so strong to make sure that her husband's legacy remained intact and remained inside of this family for us to control. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. By Granny or not, I mean, I think she is one of the most incredible women walking this earth, because nobody I've ever seen do that.
So for young guys looking for a wife, you need to look for a strong woman.
Yeah, you do.
Who is smart,
Yes, you do.
who's courageous,
Yes, you do.
and can be there with you,
Yeah,
right?
through everything.
Right.
Through everything.
And Zelma is exactly that.
She
Anybody who's ever met her feels her love,
Yes.
and for everybody.
Yes.
And when you're with her, you're with her. I mean, she's
Yeah.
there with you.
Exactly.
And
At all
not
times.
thinking of looking at her phone or thinking
No.
about something else. She's thinking about you.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
And she probably calls you up and tells you what to do every once in a while.
Yes,
doesn't she?
sir, at all times. we do what we call the queen for a reason, and we do what she tells us to do at all times.
He's a smart man.
Smart man,
Right.
smart man.
Yes, yeah.
Justin, last question for
Yes,
you.
sir.
We've all heard the Sitting on the Dock of the Bay,
Mhm.
some of the other big hits from
Mhm.
Otis. Give us a B-side track that people should go and look up as soon as this show is over, to really get the feel for who Otis was.
Old Man Trouble. Because
Old
that is
Man
my
Trouble.
favorite song right now. My Otis songs always kind of change a lot. But right now I would say go listen to Old Man Trouble off of the Otis Blue record. Anything on that Otis Blue record is absolutely incredible. That was, to me, that is the best album he ever put out. So of course Old Man Trouble's on there, but anything on that Otis Blue album, definitely check out that album.
Old Man Trouble on the Otis Blue record. You got it. We will do that. Justin, thanks so much for joining us
Thank you
this
so
week.
much. We appreciate it.
This has been fantastic.
Thank you so much.
And thank you guys for tuning in this week as well. And stay tuned, because you never know where me and Dr. Harper might show up next.